The long and at times contentious battle to fill the vacant seat on the San Diego Board of Supervisors is over. Imperial Beach Mayor Paloma Aguirre has defeated Chula Vista Mayor John McCann. Her win swings the balance of power on the board to the Democrats. Thank you for joining us. I'm Marie Cornell in for Kimberly Hunt. Now, McCann conceded the election today following last night's results. The current totals show Aguirre nearly 8 percentage points ahead of McCann with about 1,300 votes left to count. McCann issuing a statement earlier today saying in part, "Despite the outcome, I am proud that my campaign presented a clear statement in support of reducing the cost of living, getting the homeless off the streets, and keeping our community safe. These are the principles that have guided me as mayor of Chula Vista and will continue to be important objectives as I work on behalf of the city I love." Joining me now is Supervisor-elect Paloma Aguirre. Now, while the election results still have to be certified by the Register of Voters, you have to share, what is your reaction right now to the numbers?
Well, I'm ecstatic. I'm very humbled of the show of support from the residents and voters of District 1. Our message during our campaign resonated with them, which is lowering the costs of living, fighting back the Trump agenda, and making sure that we tackle the biggest environmental and public health crisis in our nation, which is the sewage crisis.
Now, as you heard, your opponent, John McCann, issued that statement saying that he does want to work with you moving forward because you guys do cover some of the same areas. For the voters that did not cast their ballots for you, what do you want them to know?
That we will continue to work together, Mayor McCann and I. We're going to work on all the issues impacting District 1. He's obviously the mayor of one of the largest cities in the district, and he and I have a working relationship before this election, and we're going to continue to do that work. Absolutely.
Now, you have been at the forefront of tackling the Tijuana sewage issue here in the South Bay. As a new supervisor, how are you going to move that forward?
So I already have. Before even being elected, we submitted my 5-point plan to tackle the sewage crisis, which has been voted on 3-1 at the County Board of Supervisors. And that includes the 5-point plan. One of the top priorities is to remove the toxic hotspot at Saturn Boulevard, which is causing and exacerbating the emissions of toxic sewage gases, which is hydrogen sulfide. It's very detrimental to the health of children, the immunocompromised, and the elderly. I've talked to hundreds of families at the door that have walking pneumonia or elderly parents with COPD. So we need to make sure that we remove that, and that's an infrastructure fix that we can do right away. Now, we also need to make sure that we reinforce daycares and schools in the less than half-a-mile proximity of that hotspot so that children aren't being exposed to these toxic gases. And obviously, we're going to continue to do the work at the state and federal level. Just today, there was a statement issued by the Assembly for Assembly Joint Resolution calling on the President to declare a state of emergency. It's something that we are going to continue to do, because until the President declares a state of emergency, the main source of pollution will continue to be there, which is the Tijuana River itself. Neither the plant in Mexico nor the plant that we have secured $600 million to upgrade and double the capacity will remove any of those pollutants from the river itself.
So aside from that, what are your other priorities now in your new position?
We're going to explore as many ways to lower the cost of living, and we also want to make sure that we fight back the awful, callous policies that are coming out of obviously the Senate, the White House, and the House as well. So we have almost $900 billion of cuts in programs that our most vulnerable in our communities depend on. 140,000 residents in District 1 depend on some form of health care, Medicaid, SNAP, after-school programs, for nutritional programs, and we need to make sure that our residents that are going to be left in the dust by this administration aren't.
Now, lastly, as far as the residents of the city of Imperial Beach, what happens now in terms of finding the person who is going to fill your spot?
Yes, so that obviously me leaving will leave the vacancy, and it's entirely up to the council in which direction they take. They'll have a couple of options. I hope that they decide to run a special election because, you know, that will give the power to the people to make their voices heard. But once I vacate, that'll be entirely up to the council whether they run a special or they appoint, and I very much look forward to continuing to work with the Council of Imperial Beach.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
this
for
evening.
having me.